We are here with UFC Women's Bantamweight Holly Holm as she'll be facing up against Valentina Shevchenko, UFC on Fox 20, July 23rd in Chicago. And before we even get to that, I got a press release last week from Ask the People at Ask Men, and the top 99 crush list of 2016, and you were number 5, and you're giving me that look right now, and did that even surprise you?
I guess people like to see me punch people. I don't know, because I don't really see myself as, like, crush worthy. I don't look at myself in the mirror and think that, but, all I know is I'm just trying to be the best version of me. That's all I ever say.
Your life's been a whirlwind. I remember we talked a couple times leading up to the Ronda fight, and just you were so focused in and dialed in, and we talked right before the Miesha fight, and it was the same thing. And how do you keep it all in together? Because now, a year ago, people knew Holly Holm, but it wasn't to the global phenomenon that it is now. And how do you keep it all in and keep it focused?
I don't want to feel like I made it somewhere. I want to still feel like I'm working for something great. I don't want to be, even in boxing, once I got the title, it's like, well, I don't ever want to lose it. And here I am. I had some losses. And then I was able to go back, avenge my loss, and get that belt back, and that's where I'm at now. I feel like no matter what it is, I find passion with whatever it is. Right now, I want to get back on the winning streak. I just had a loss, so that's making me hungry. After a win, I want to stay on the top. So, which obviously that's not what happened with my last fight, but I'm really passionate about what I do, and I just want to keep pushing forward, keep thriving for something great. I want to feel like there's still more to life, otherwise life can get pretty depressing if you don't feel like you're up for something great, right?
Exactly. Because people brought that up with Ronda, and how she fell off the grid and took that loss really hard, and it took a while for even her to apologize, to say congratulations to you, which a lot of people were critical of. How do you, how do people get like that? Because you've been through the gamut in boxing and now in MMA, and how do you handle a loss? Because this was your first ever MMA loss, so how do you handle that? What is it? Just same old Holly? Because that's what Izzy was telling me earlier.
Yeah, I feel like I had a pretty big loss in 2011, the very end of 2011, a brutal knockout, and that was the last loss that I had, and I just thought, you know what, if I don't give myself a chance for this rematch, it will bother me the rest of my life that I didn't give myself a chance to come back and try to do it better. And that's what I did. I came back, I had the rematch, I beat her, and that's where I'm at now. I'm still thinking the same thing. I don't want to just end there. I don't want somebody else to be in control of my happiness. And right now I'm bummed out. I have a loss, but guess what? I want to get back to the win, because I'm going to feel happier with that, and at least giving myself the chance to. So, and I feel like, why not feel the passion in life? Why not feel something, you're up to is going to be, like I said, great. I want to keep going forward.
I want you to bother you not to get the rematch with Miesha right away, because I was just talking to Izzy, because you look at the fight, you were winning the fight. Into the last round, you were up around. There was no doubt about that. And what do you feel in your mind went wrong? Because Izzy felt like she went into an extra gear, he felt like. So what do you feel happened in that 5th round to where it all crumbled?
Well, I know that she's like notorious for being able to come back and finish a fight when she's been behind. She can do that. Even if it's just been round 1, she was behind, she'll come back for 2, 3, whatever. She's been able to capitalize on weak moments of another fighter. She's never one that gets tired. She's always conditioned. She always goes forward. She's never mentally beaten. I knew that. And I knew I should have been careful. I knew she would have been coming gunning in the last round knowing she was behind, and I should have been maybe fighting with a little more sense of urgency. With that being said, let's take nothing away from her knowledge in the game and her experience in the game. You can't take anything away from her. She got in, got that submission, and you do.
How bummed were you not to get the rematch? Instead, now you have to fight Valentina.
I'm bummed that I don't have the rematch, but I'm just happy to be fighting. I have a passion for fighting, and I'm one of those that I really want to feel like I earned something. And I just lost the belt, so who am I to say what I want, what I need? Even with the belt, I didn't feel like that. Like, oh, now I can, pick what I want. I feel like whatever opportunity they'll give me, I want to make the most of, and I just want to stick true to that. That's how I have always kind of felt with my career, and I'm going to stay with it.
What do you make of the perception that people say, oh, you should have listened to Dana, not taken this fight with Miesha, and waited for whenever Ronda came back? What do you make of those people that said you should have waited instead of taking the fight with Miesha?
I think we're still waiting for Ronda to come back, and if I wouldn't have taken that fight, I'd still be sitting here not active. Even though, yes, I lost the belt with taking that fight, but guess what? I'm still thriving for something right now. I'm still working and learning. Where would I be if I was just kind of waiting around? And that means that I would be basing my career around somebody else's career. I mean, that's silly to me. I don't want to base my passions off of somebody else. I want it to be what I want to drive forward for. So yeah, is it a sour taste in my mouth that I lost the belt? Yes, but I don't regret taking that challenge. Here we are. There's a whole nother sight ahead of me. I don't want to live off of November of last year. There's more to life than that one moment. That was one of the best moments of my life, no doubt. But the rest of my life can't thrive on that moment. I want to keep driving for something else.
What are you driving for? What is your drive at this point?
Victory, always. I always want victory. Right now, I need to come back from this loss. I want a victory. And if it's a victory, I'm still going to want a victory on the next one. Victory tastes real good. You know?
What's your drive outside of fighting? What are your hobbies? What are your passions outside of the cage?
You know, I love to be with my friends. I love to be, and when I say friends and family, I'm talking my husband, my friends that I've known forever, my new friends, my teammate, my family at home, blood, and the family that's part of my team that's not blood, but I still consider them family. I love to be around them, whether it's traveling with them. You know, I do like to be active and be out and be social. I love to do stuff like that and whatever that entails.
I heard you're into purses. I've heard of.
Okay, so.
Because my wife's big into purses. My wife follows you on Twitter and Instagram, and she's like, oh God, I love her purse. And
okay, so I never had a really expensive purse. And this is the story. My last fight, before I signed with UFC, was the title fight for Legacy, and I broke my arm in the fight in round 1. I wound up finishing her in round 5, and because of the knockout, I got a bonus, and I had surgery on my arm. I had to get it plated and reset, and the very next day after surgery, I had to fly to Vegas for meetings with the UFC and just kind of, you know, where we were going from there. So I'm in Vegas with my bonus and a broken arm, and I thought, you know, I feel like I kind of deserve this right now. So I went and bought myself a Louis Vuitton purse, and had that one for a while, a year or two, and then after my fight with Ronda, we were kind of walking around Australia the day after, and that was my Legacy title fight. When I broke my arm, that was for that title, and I just won another title, so maybe it's fitting, so we got another one.
So maybe then after you regain the title, then you have to now go buy another purse.
I think that you know what, if it's been a good vibe with it, so you know what, that's will definitely be what will happen if I get back to that belt.
You talked about Ronda, and I asked Izzy this question. I'll ask you the same one. A lot of people feel like Ronda's not going to come back. Dana was doing some media rounds last week, and he seemed for the first time uncertain about her returning. Do you think she returns? Just the way she's acted and how she's handled the loss and what she's been doing, it really doesn't seem like she will be back.
A lot of people said she was done right after our fight, and I thought, well, you never know. You know, who can say right after a fight?
Yeah. Gosh,
I mean, you gotta go home, kind of shut the door in your own privacy for a little bit and reevaluate what you want to do. I think that by now, though, I thought that she would be maybe a little bit more outspoken about coming back if she wanted to, but you can't ever count her out. I mean, it's still only been, 7 months, I guess, not even that, 6 months. Maybe she really just needed a big break, and maybe she's gonna have a huge comeback. I don't know.
What'd you make of her not apologize, like congratulating you? That was like a really big That was a big thing, waiting for that congratulations. You didn't get it for the longest time, and did that nugget you at all and bother you because, and a little bit disrespectful because you lost, and you congratulate your opponent like you were congratulatory to Miesha, and how much did that bother you that that didn't happen and it took her so long to make that formal congratulations to you?
For me, the victory is what I love. I guess I never really took offense to it, but I'm also the type that if that was my teammate, I would probably be more upset about. Just like if somebody used to call my friend a bad name or be offensive to my friend, I'm upset. They call it to me, it's kind of like, whatever. It's like, it just doesn't bother me. It's more out of a defense for other people. So I guess I never really looked at it like, oh, you should, do this. You should, congratulate me, anything like that. I just don't feel like that. I had the confidence in the fact that I won, and that is, that's a pride that you feel. I would be lying if I didn't love the feeling that I took her down.
Yeah.
That feels great. That's what we're in this sport for. So for me, that's all I needed. I didn't really care about a congratulations or anything like that. I just thought, I won. I'm gonna sleep good night tonight.
Absolutely, and you go from not getting the rematch with Miesha and now facing Valentina. And when you were told it was Valentina, what did you think?
This is gonna be a tough fight. That's what I think. She's got a lot of Muay Thai experience. She's been through some battles. She's a tough girl. I've watched some video on her. She never seems tired. She always seems pretty strong and pretty forward. And she's got her offense, but she's also a very good counter puncher. She doesn't have to think too hard about what she wants to do. It seems pretty reaction for her, pretty second nature. So she's definitely a really tough opponent.
Is this the ideal opponent coming off a loss like that to Miesha? Is this, it's a type of opponent that is a good. You never want to look past anybody, but is it a good fight?
At all.
Is it a good fight for you, just in general, just considering who it is?
I feel like a lot of people are going to expect a lot, which I think with any fight, I feel like people expect a lot. But a loss to Valentina would definitely even be worse, and so it puts a lot of personal pressure that I put on myself, but in a good way.
What do you make of, like, you in a roundabout way just said, what do you make of people saying this is going to be a blowout? You're going to run right over her and move on to whatever will be one of the top opponents in the women's bantamweight division. What do you make of that sentiment of she's going to come in, she's going to knock her head off, and she's going to walk out of Chicago?
How many people thought Ronda was going to just dominate me?
I was not one of them, and I will find you an article because
I believe you.
And I said that because me and you had talked a couple times. We talked in the lead up, right when the fight was announced. Mm-hmm. I did an interview with you, and then about 2 weeks, right before you left for Australia, we talked. Right. And just the way you had a different mindset that a lot of people did going into a fight like that. And then you look at this one, and a lot of people are not giving Valentina much of a shot.
Right. I feel like Valentina's pretty tough mentally as well. And here's the thing, anybody can land the right shot.
Yeah.
I feel like that's me knowing that and being honest with myself about that. I think it's been a big reason why I've been able to, accomplish whatever I've been able to accomplish so far, is to fear my opponent. Everybody's beatable. Knowing everybody's beatable, I know I'm beatable, which makes me train hard. So I expect the best Valentina.
Two more questions, Holly. Thank you for the time today. And naturally, you never want to look far ahead, but you have to have some type of idea of where you want to go forward. Where do you want to go forward in 2016? Is it, a lot of people think the Garden Show, and I've talked to Lorenzo, and Lorenzo's been warm to that idea of you fighting at the Garden. What do you see for yourself the rest of 2016 if you are victorious on July 23rd?
I hope to fight again, because there's still half of a year left, and that is my goal. I would love to be able to fight for the belt again, but if that's not it, I still want to be able to fight whatever opportunity. And whatever I do, I just hope that I do it in good fashion.
You make of Cris Cyborg's performance? A lot of people were. You turned on the fight. You were wanting the title fight with Miesha. What'd you make of Chris's performance last week?
I thought she did good. I know she's always kind of the aggressor. Smith didn't really come out real aggressive, so it's a little easier to kind of tee off on somebody that's not coming right at you. But regardless of how Leslie's performance was, I feel like Cris showed think she looks better and better each fight, and I feel like, she's always looking impressive. So then you even get a better Cris Cyborg. I mean, it's very impressive. I think she's very powerful. I think that she even showed more crisp, cleaner kind of punches, and I don't know. I thought she did a good job.
A lot of people link you guys together and be like, this is the ideal, this is the dream matchup. People seem more infatuated now with that fight instead of the fight with her and Ronda. Mm-hmm. Do you want that fight? And if you do, what weight class would you prefer the fight to be in?
I'm open to that fight. They did call me about it before the Brazil fight happened, and at the time I really was focused on really wanting to try and get that title back. And so I said, I want to see if I get this title fight instead for right now. It's just kind of what I wanted to do, avenge that loss, and that didn't happen. So, maybe there will be an opportunity. I'm open to fighting her, and yes, I want the title at 135, but I'm not opposed to stepping outside the box a little bit. If it happened at 140, I feel like everything is, just as the opportunity comes. If it feels right, let's do it.
And how do you defeat Valentina Shevchenko on July 23rd?
My best has to be better than her best. And that's it. I want to be ready for everything that she's got. I feel like obviously she's working on the ground as well. She put Nunez on her back and kept her there quite a bit. And Nunez is, she's pretty well rounded on the ground. So I think that shows Valentina's strength. And obviously she's been improving not just with her Muay Thai skills. So I need to be ready for anything.
Thank you, Holly, for the time again.
Thank you.